Okay, so I briefly answered this in the comments, but I want to get deeper into it. So someone mentioned that they think that COVID symptoms are signs of the shift. And I hadn't thought about it, but I think they may be right. So I think that I got COVID in October of 2019 before we even knew what COVID was, because I got super sick and I had all the symptoms and I had an ongoing cough for 4 months that didn't go away. And I was serving at Chili's at that point, and I would literally walk to tables and like not be able to take an order because I couldn't stop coughing. Me, my manager, and another coworker all got really sick like this. It got to the point where I couldn't even lay down because it felt like there was an elephant on my chest. So I wasn't sleeping. So finally in January of 2020, I decided to go to the ER, and they told me I had an upper respiratory infection. They couldn't figure out what it was. They gave me a Z-Pack, a nebulizer treatment, and a pump, and sent me on my way, and I was better in a week. So imagine my surprise when COVID hit 2 months later and everybody had the same symptoms, but all of a sudden there was no cure. Why couldn't they just get the same treatment I got? I mean, I got better in a week. I don't know. It was kind of weird. But after that was when my shifting reality started, and shifting into the, I guess, 4D, fifth dimension. So besides that, other symptoms are, your hair is different. Your physical appearance is different. Your clothes fit different. You start to unrecognize yourself. Like you look at old photos and you don't really recognize who you were. You start being interested in things that you weren't really interested in before. You lose interest in hobbies that you've always loved to do. You start really just like diving into other things. You kind of lose relationships with people that you've always had relationships with. You start gravitating towards more spirituality. You start questioning everything. You start wanting to find out the truth about things. People say that they don't even recognize who you are anymore because you've changed so much. You really start to focus on being the best version of yourself. You start to try to heal your inner child, work through the trauma, and you stop putting yourself in a victim mentality. That is a very big thing that is keeping us stuck in the 3D version of ourselves, is keeping ourselves in the victim mentality. And it's not saying that your trauma isn't valid and didn't happen. It's that we need to stop choosing to stay stuck in that mentality. And I'm not saying you have to forgive whoever caused you the trauma, like in person. And honestly, you don't even have to really forgive them. You just have to let the resentment and the anger go that you have towards them, because the only person that is hurting is you. And if you could just let go of that and be like, listen, I'm just going to cut you off. If they're still in your life, or if they're not still in your life and it's something that happened to you as a kid and you're just like angry still at that person literally doesn't even know that you still think about them. So all that's doing is hurting you. So you just say, you know what? I'm going to let go. I'm going to let it go. You're going to get your karma. What you did to me, it's going to come back to you tenfold. And I choose to let it go and move the fuck on, because you're not going to hold this power over me. So that is really how, I guess that's kind of how you start the shift. And that's how you recognize that you've started the shift.